I asked 1,000 businesses what they said their biggest problem was, and they said generating sales consistently from YouTube. So in this video, I'm going to show you why people can't generate consistent sales from YouTube and how to build a system that does. So let's start with why most businesses struggle to generate consistent sales from YouTube. And to explain this, I'm going to use these 4 glasses. The first glass is your cold audience. These are people who have just discovered you. They don't know you, they don't trust you, and they do not want to give you any money. They probably think you're a dirty little scam fairy. The second glass is your warm audience. These are people who, after watching you, go, you know what? They're right, and I think they can help me. So they keep coming back and they binge your content and they begin trusting you. Now, the third glass is your hot audience. These are people who have decided they want your help and they are actively looking for a solution, and now they trust you enough so they would eventually consider buying your thing. And finally, the fourth glass is your customers. This is when a hot viewer buys and becomes a client, and this is the exact reason people struggle to make consistent sales from YouTube, because can you see the problem here? Look at this. Let's say I promote my product. The cold ignore it. The warm are not ready to buy. The only people who buy are the hot. So if you have 100 people in this glass and 20 buy, you now only have 80 hot people left. Then if you promote again, well, now you only have 60. And you keep selling, and eventually your hot audience vanishes. Now, from working with hundreds of businesses, this is the point they usually come to me and ask for my help. And often, when you look at what they did to solve this problem, they made 2 pretty big mistakes. First, they assumed their offer just stopped being appealing to people. So they went and they remade the whole thing, and they added new features and they added new benefits, only to find it made no difference. And then the second mistake they made is insanely damaging, and that is they said, I need more views to fix this problem. So they started chasing trends and targeting a broader audience, and they made videos about AI because it felt like the easiest way to get buyers. And this really screwed them because they didn't need more cold viewers. There was already plenty of water in that glass. Really, they needed to realize that their hot glass was empty, and instead of chasing more new people, they just needed to build a system that turned what they already had warmer faster. So if you want consistent sales from YouTube, there's only 2 things you really need to do. First, just forget views and only focus on filling your cold audience glass with the right people. Then all you do is you build a system that moves those people from cold to warm to hot. So your hot audience glass always has enough water in it so that when you sell, it fills back up again. But how do you actually achieve that? Well, I'm going to show you a few things I did to generate over 8 figures from YouTube. And this was by far the biggest breakthrough of my entire career. So in 2025, I stopped asking myself which videos get views, and I started focusing on what content gets people into the hot glass fastest. So I started tracking every video's performance, their link clicks, sales page visits from the content application, calls, sales, instead of just views, and it became crystal clear which videos consistently poured water into my hot glass and warmed people up. Because of that, I completely changed my YouTube strategy, and I stopped focusing on just researching outliers on YouTube, and I started optimizing for videos that just moved people through this system, and it worked. This alone kept my hot audience full enough so that every month when I opened sales, we sold out. In fact, we sold out every single month for 18 months in a row, and we generated millions doing it. So the next time you plan a video, don't ask, will this get views? Ask, will this attract the right people and move them closer to the hot glass so that when I do sell, I actually have people who are ready to buy? And if the answer is no, don't make that video. Now, the second thing I did was all about converting cold, warm, and hot viewers faster together, and it generated hundreds of thousands of dollars with just a few hours of work. So I was making all these videos and they're growing my business faster. And then one day, after a couple of months, I noticed that selling out became a little bit trickier. It felt like it required more effort. And the data confirmed it. I could see that the hot audience was drying up. I knew that the solution wasn't just blowing up a video and trying to grow my audience, because it would only bring cold viewers into the glass, so it wouldn't solve my problem. So instead, I asked, what could I do right now that could warm up all 3 glasses at once without waiting for YouTube to run its magic naturally? So I picked a specific result my audience wanted, and I put on a free event to show them exactly how to achieve it. The idea was I would show them how to double your business's turnover in 90 days. Then I promoted this to my email list, on my community wall, and on the event, all I did was I walked them through 3 client stories. Each one started with the problem the client came to me with, and it showed them how we kind of help them fix it. And at the end, I simply invited everyone who watched the webinar to apply to work with me if they wanted my help too. The first event generated 150 sales calls. Now, we could only take on 50 clients at the time, and it was a $10,000 client. So we sold out and made a lot from this one event because it can get cold viewers, warm viewers, and hot viewers to heat up all at the same time, meaning you can get a lot of sales very fast. Some of my clients who have done this with zero experience have walked away with six-figure launches from this one thing with no sales call. But what if you don't have an email list or you don't really want to put on an event? Well, the third way to keep that hot glass full is simpler than running an event, but it comes with a bit of a catch. And I need to be honest with you, because a lot of people totally misunderstand this. So towards the start of 2025, I ran an experiment and I started posting twice a week instead of once. And what I noticed pretty quickly was that I didn't really need videos to perform anymore in the sense of smashing out 1 and 10s and really growing the channel fast. Because I was posting twice a week, I was just appearing on the homepage more naturally. And that seemed to fill up my hot audience glass with just average performers, which meant we then sold out each month. It's only when I slowed down my 2-a-week posting, I started to feel sales got a little bit tougher again. And that is when the events became important. So one simple way is to turn up more on YouTube, but that is the bit everyone gets wrong. I've worked with so many clients who have pumped out like 3 videos a week, and they have watched their channel and business go backwards because getting results from posting often doesn't work with rushed content. And it won't work if you come up with boring thumbnails and titles that people aren't really interested in clicking on. And it won't work if you just waffle for ages and don't plan and simplify. It only works if you double the output of quality. And the truth is, I couldn't keep up trying to maintain the quality. It completely took over my life. It was exhausting. Now, the next trick I have had up my sleeve to get viewers into the hot glass, I stumbled onto when I didn't want to run a full event, but I also couldn't face posting twice a week anymore. And I needed something that was kind of faster to produce and would still get people into my hot glass. So I thought I'd try a weekly live stream, where I would just ask my viewers to submit their business and their funnels, and then I would roast it or review it or give some sort of coaching or ask questions. And then on the live, I'd mention my offer. And I did this once a week for 4 weeks. And what we found was, by doing one of these once a week, it kept the hot glass full and kept sales coming in. Now, the weird thing about lives is you don't actually need an audience to watch you live. Most of our sales came after when the YouTube live turned into a video, but for the views to conversion rate, this is some of the best content I've ever made. The reason this works is because when someone watches you think for a problem and coach live, the viewer gets a taste of what it's actually like to work with you. And if your offer is coaching or consulting or a service, that is very powerful for getting people into your hot glass and to become a buyer. So those are ways to top up your warm audience. If you want to see exactly what I did to double my turnover in just 90 days using some of the things I've just spoken about, I've made a deep dive video you can check out here. Or if you want to learn what to do to make videos that fill up your hot audience glass, watch this video here. We track sales from over 1 billion views, and it's going to reveal the patterns that we discovered that will enable you to warm people up faster and generate sales quicker.